MoFoCo is a Minnesota lemons team that has run a focus in lemons for years. And they decided they needed a second car, and their criteria were very simple. It's like, we want something that's even worse. The obvious answer? Slant-six mid-engine Dodge Magnum.
MoFoCo team captain Adam has a brother who has an auto recycling business, and that gives the team an unfair advantage, which is the first crack at premium auction cars. You know, stuff like BMW 335s, Subaru STIs, 2006 Dodge Magnum SEs with the base 2.7 V6. So obviously they jumped on that Magnum, and after selling off parts they didn't need, the car was essentially free.
The original V6 didn't run, which was no big loss. So they went for some real Mopar history. They got a 426 Hemi. They got a 346 pack. They got a 225 Slant-six.
Now, as everybody knows from the Porsche 944's widespread success in lemons, one of the most important things in the series is weight distribution. And that's why MoFoCo elected to go with a front mid-engine placement for the Slant-six in their Dodge Magnum. You know, like an SLR McLaren.
So with a healthy dose of custom fab, they got that Slant-six basically dead center in the car, offset just enough to put a driver right next to it. For gearbox, well, why not an SN95 Mustang pull-away Ford 5-speed? This was a T5, which they selected because it can be remote shifted. Turns out they didn't need that. They just needed a long arm to kind of go like this. So they got that sorted out. A 2005 Jeep Cherokee drive shaft bolted right in. Yeah, in fact, that private personal junkyard of theirs is the ideal parts catalog. They were able to source stuff from a F-150 pickup truck, a whole bunch of other Mustangs, a 2006 Dodge Ram, Chevy Silverado, the previously mentioned Jeep Cherokee, and a Kubota tractor.
We've covered this in a previous Lemons World episode, but the Slant-six is one of those engines that has a rep for being completely indestructible, and everyone who has brought one to a Lemons race has immediately blown it up. It turns out that they're really tough if you're a normie, but if you're a serious 10/10ths drive to survive Lemons precision pilot, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, that's true, but here's the thing. Because other Slant-sixes have been running in lemons for so long, there is a wealth of road racing endurance knowledge that has been built up for this motor. These guys took advantage of that. MoFoCo, they knew oiling was the big issue, so they set up an external wet sump. I didn't even know that was possible.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Exactly.
And with that, problem solved.
And the next thing they did was Mega Squirt fuel injection. Now, if you show up with that on your BMW or Miata, the Lemons BS judges might have an issue. But it turns out there's a loophole for Slant-six swapped mid-engine Dodge Magnums. This Mega Squirt setup uses a Fox Mustang throttle body, S197 Mustang fuel injectors, and coil packs from a GM LS V8. And in one little neat bit of engineering, the team used the Slant-six's stock fuel pump eccentrics, which they're not using anymore, to drive a Hall effect sensor for the cam position for the Mega Squirt. This is like levels that the Slant-six has never achieved before in its life.
So the final accounting, this car, it only weighs like 3,000 pounds. It's got 156 horsepower. It's got 192 pounds of torque. They took it to a dyno to verify all that.
Verified.
And they report that the handling is actually pretty neutral and good. I mean, it is, after all, a mid-engine supercar. With the Mega Squirt, they even get pretty good fuel mileage. In fact, they say the only real downside to this thing, it's got a little bit of cabin heat. I don't know why.
So, the hardware, the livery, combined, with the general state of being a mid-engine Slant-six Dodge Magnum, has made this car a Lemons favorite, and that has resulted in a Judge's Choice Award at Road America back in 2023. The team does have higher hopes for the future. First, they want to win Class C, which is our slowest and therefore most interesting class. They came close at Hallett, where they were right into the hunt until they had, a fire. This incident also made the team captain's wife, who grew up in Soviet Russia, to nickname the car Chernobyl, for how the car tends to catch fire and or melt with little warning.
And just to make sure that that nickname sticks, they've got a whole set HX35 turbo off of a Cummins just ready to bolt on. I mean, this car's worked surprisingly well and it hasn't been hot to drive, so why not?
That was very convincing.
Every second you don't subscribe,
or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?